Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. My name is Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I advise and empower women professionals, especially women veterans, to step up into their most authentic personal brand to gain and attract lucrative opportunities. And we are focusing on 4 different areas, y'all. We are focusing on our appearance, behaviors, communication skills, and our digital presence, because what I know for sure is that when we can master all these different areas, we can get anything that we desire, and most importantly, we deserve. All right. So I'm all in the mindset of we are not chasing down opportunities. Opportunities come to us because when we build a strong, memorable personal brand, it is undeniable, and we become unstoppable with that confidence that it takes to put yourself out there. All right. So that is what I do all day, every day. I have programs. I have clients that are going through the Brand Boldly experience, and each one of them is stepping out boldly in their own unique way. So that way they can either advocate for a cause that they have, they're transitioning out of their older career into a newer career, or they're just looking at launching a business or their nonprofit. And you know what? They just want to be able to say that they squeeze the most out of this life because we only get one shot at it, Queen. Okay. And Kings. I know that we have a lot of people who come and they tune in either here on live or they come back for the replay. So if you do come back for the replay, go ahead and put in hashtag replay so that I know that you were here and you stopped on through. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen in on these conversations. Okay. So I have 2 shows. I have this one here, which is called the Rise and Slay Morning Show on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I also have the Slay to Success Talk Show, which is Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I bring in a guest who are using the Slay philosophies to make a positive impact in this world. And what does Slay mean, y'all? Okay, everybody should know, right? If you are new to the community, I'm just going to share with you exactly what that means. When you look up slay in the Urban Dictionary, slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym because I'm extra like that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to create an acronym out of SLAY that stand for Universal Life and Leadership Philosophies that really resonate with me the most. And I hope that they resonate with you too. And those are stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community or a sense of family, and knowing you are built to last. So today, y'all, we are going to be talking about what's the number one reason why you're building your personal brand. Now, let me tell you something, okay? Because I've got my notes here and I don't want to go off track because I can easily get us down into the rabbit holes and into the weeds about personal branding. I started out my personal branding journey while I was still active duty in the military. So for those that are not quite sure of where I'm coming from, I served for 30 years in the United States Air Force. Huh. And after I served in the military, I decided to launch Slay to Success, which is a full business, y'all. I've got a lot of things happening at one time. But it was just a few years before I retired that I started to see that I was building a personal brand. And what this means is I have created a mantra, okay, which is Slay. I have my logo here that you see in the corner there. I have a tagline which says, keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And I have stories that I can share based on the audiences that I'm in front of. I love the color pink, so you'll see pink on everything, okay? Because that is one of the ways that is making me stand out. And I absolutely love the color pink, so why not? So all these things have been this personal branding where I've put my mark in this world, where I have created my own blueprint on the way that I show up. Okay. So who do we have here? We have Chevy. Good morning, Queen, and happy to slay. I'm just going to go ahead and put in the banner right here. So if you are coming in this morning, let me know who you are and where you're tuning in from. And also tell us what you do. All right. I know Chevy does that on her show. If you haven't checked out her show, please make sure that you do. If you're in the federal government contracting space, that is what she is operating in. I mean, this is an opportunity for us to network and to see what everyone else is doing out here, because you never know. You might need their service one day, right? So, as I have been building my personal brand, there has been a lot of evolvement that is happening here. Okay. I started out a little bit scared and timid, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to share. I didn't know which platforms, I didn't know, how I can create the momentum behind what I do. But once I started to do and to take action, there has been a multitude of opportunities that have came my way, and I was ready for them, y'all, because I'm, like I said, I'm big into staying ready to be ready. So I just stepped fully in to this personal branding. Now, as I have been evolving, as we all do, I realized that I was just not getting the visibility or the confidence or the head nods, if you will, to come in and present workshops and be a keynote speaker and all the things, right? What I realized, that I was building something so much bigger. All right. And I just want us to just talk a little bit through it. So, this personal branding is intentional. There is no mistake about what I'm doing. I have a plan, I have systems, and I have processes in place. You're welcome, Queen. Absolutely. You know that how we do. We are in it to win it, okay? We are in it to win it. So I have processes, systems, and I have a way about how I continue to show up. Many times people are like, wow, like you are doing the most. And I'm like, well, I'm doing the things that are most unique to me, and I get to do them in my own way with flow and ease. I can create content on top of content about what I am sharing. It is not hard for me because it is my calling. It is my purpose. Now, once we continue to find that and we are in that, you will see things come by so much easier. All right. But, I understand now it is not just about the visibility, the confidence, the show up, if you will. It is about legacy. Okay. What I am doing is leaving breadcrumbs for when I am gone, because everyone has an expiration date. I know that's kind of grim and kind of solitude or whatnot, but everyone has an expiration date. What are you doing in the meantime? What are you building? All right. If you are working on your personal brand, what you're actually building up to is to legacy. The number one reason that you're building your personal brand is generational impact. Now, I talked about generational impact on Sunday night with my guest, Sharon Richardson. So if you have not looked at that episode, please do. They're live on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube channel. You can go back there and listen in. But we started talking about generational impact, and the fire in my belly, y'all, it was like so hot. I was like, you know what? We are going to talk about this more and more and more, because I now understand at the age of 52 and almost 53 that there are a lot of people who are looking. Now, people were looking and observing and watching me while I was still in the uniform. But now, more than ever, people are kind of seeing, how am I taking on this next chapter? What am I doing? What am I up to? And my whole goal is to inspire, to motivate, to encourage, to support, to guide other women and a few good men, because I do have a few good men that I have as clients that understand what they're doing is not just for the likes, all right? It's not just for like seeing you doing what you do. It is for the next generations and the generations after that. So this all stems from, I went to our family. It was kind of like a family reunion. My aunt and uncle, they renew their vows after we were being married for 50 years. And they have all these family members that came, and they had a big barbecue with fireworks show. And then the next night, they actually had the banquet. And, my mom was introducing me to my relatives that I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I guess because I was serving for a very long time in the military, I really didn't have the connection. And so she was trying to explain to me, how they are connected, right? And in that moment, I was thinking to myself, you know what would have been very helpful is for me to understand what they have been doing. Okay. What is the significance of what they do for me to remember so that I could share with my family? And it just wasn't computing. I don't know what it was, but I was like, you know what? I want to be able to have this legacy where anyone in my family who wants to go into the military, okay, because that is somewhat of an influence, anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur after the age of 50, anyone who wants to, pursue a degree after the age of 50, anyone who wants to publish books and articles, just like the ones here, okay, and y'all, best-selling author for this book here. All right. So if you haven't gotten this, please, I don't even know if I can, it's just always a shot here for, the light. But this is called The Business Behind the Business. And it's got 27 other entrepreneurs. And we talk about the struggles of business and how do you overcome them and the resilience that it takes so that way you can grow a business. And I did not even realize that I could even contribute to this book. Y'all, there is so many things that we can do to give people an understanding of who we are and to give them a way for them to say, you know what? This is much deeper. This is much deeper than we all think, right? Okay, so Chevy says, oh, she's a business development and SBIR consultant. She supports tech and non-tech founders to break into the federal market and submit grants, SBIR, merit-worthy proposals for sustainable growth. I love that, Queen. And thank you so much for sharing with the audience of what you do and how you do it. That's what we're doing, okay? So thank you. And yes, generational impact. And that was a great conversation between you and Sharon. Yes, I absolutely enjoyed that. And I'm so glad that you were able to be with us live because, when we hear personal brand, okay, when people hear that connotation, they're often thinking of the logos, okay? They're often thinking of like the pictures on Instagram where it's all nice and pretty, and people can go to your page. They see your business cards, right? And you're handing it out, and it's got the logo on it, it's got the colors and all that other stuff. But your personal brand is not specifically about aesthetics. It's a part of. It is not the all to be all. What I'm talking about really is alignment. Are you in alignment with who you are and what you do? And are you showing up in that particular way? Now, because I have had a lot of experience leading many people, many places, doing all the things, if you will, I used to see people show up and they were like two versions of themselves. All right. They would give the version at work and it was plastic, it was fake, it was phony. Many times, there's a lot of transactional relationships happening. And so, when they were conversing or, sharing whatever, I knew that wasn't the real them. Okay. They were taking on somebody else's persona. And it was just old, and it was tiring. It was exhausting, actually, to even watch that, and then to even engage with those types of people. And what I knew, that the only person that I could be is me. All right. I have this big old personality. I just like to live my life to the fullest. I have a lifestyle now, y'all, that is like absolutely beautiful. And it is way different than when it was a few years ago. But when I realized that I could make these changes in my lifestyle to then present my personal brand, which is now creating this generational impact, because guess what? People are looking. People are asking me questions. People are actually commenting and responding to me how much of an influence I have been on them when it's coming to their personal brand. So you need to decide, okay, who you want to become. Then you have to have the audacity, okay, to bring that version of you to every room and every platform and every opportunity that you go into. The real reason to create a personal brand is generational impact. When I have my clients attend the brand boldly program, and it's a experience, y'all. We're like peeling back the onion. We go into the identity work, and then we work on ourselves all the way up to building a plan and a blueprint for themselves on how they are going to activate their personal brand journey. And one of the things that I just say, that I look back onto, is when we can have people share with us how they feel about what we do, then we know we are on the right track. Generational means that your brand, and I'm talking about you, your personal brand, this is your purpose, this is your presence, and this is not just for you. Okay. I know my son, who is 15 years old, y'all, is watching me all day, every day. I have the beauty of being at home after retirement and being able to see him thrive in not only school, but his basketball journey. He is dedicated and committed to basketball and school. Like, it's no, I have no idea like how much of an impact and influence me and my husband have had on him, and the way that he is showing up for where he's going. Okay. You're living your best life and showing up how you want. So many women are looking to show up boldly, and that's why they need to connect with you. Absolutely. I know that this could be so daunting. This concept of what I'm sharing, people are just like nervous. They're like, oh no, I'm gonna show up on live. Listen, y'all, when I push the button to start this show and start the lives, I always get nervous. I'm always thinking to myself, well, like, how am I going to communicate and share with everyone of what I'm speaking to, and how does it resonate with them? This is something that we have to get past by. We have to get over, because people are waiting for us to show up. We have so many great stories and experiences, life lessons that we can share with others, so that they begin to step out of their comfort zone, and they bring that best version or that favorite version of themselves out even more. So, what we're doing is not just for us, it's for your daughter who's watching you to really rediscover your worth. It's for your son who sees what resiliency really looks like, that's wrapped up into like that grit and grace. It's for your mentee, all right? Most of us are mentors to other people who's never really had a roadmap until they saw you. They didn't know where they were going. They didn't know what direction you were going into. All right. I speak up for the woman veteran, because I understand that walk who is still sitting in silence, thinking of her story no longer matters. And I'm here to tell you, I don't care if you showed up in that uniform in a year, 4 years, 6 years, 8, 10, all the way up to 30. You are a woman veteran and your story matters. All right. And it's not for the people, that think that this is just a vanity thing. This is for the people coming behind you who need proof that this is possible. Whatever dream that you have is possible. But the way that I'm pursuing it is by using personal branding. It is a tool. All right. I am a creative. I like to create things. I found that out after I retired. I like to create posts. I like to create publications and books. I like to create programs, workshops, presentations. I love the process of doing that. I love to create looks, so you will see that as part of what I do because I decided to become a certified image consultant. And one of those aspects of image consultant that I appreciate the most is how I took on my own persona in these clothes. It is the way that I express myself without even saying a word. All right. I used to talk a whole lot when I was in the military, right? And sometimes I just want to step into a room. I just want to take things in. I want to be in the moment. And the way that I do that is I convey a message through my clothes. All right. Many times people ask me, where do you go shopping at? How do you decide which outfits you're going to wear to which events? How do you prepare for all these things that you go to? Listen, it is a whole system that I have designed for myself where I feel the most powerful and the most bold, and so you can do that too. Now let's talk about impact. Okay, so I elevate myself, all right, so that way I can elevate my impact. Because I have so much experience, expertise, and skills upon skills, I realized that I wanted to generate more impact in this next chapter. And impact means you're not just influencing behavior, you're changing belief systems. This is why I have Slay, all right? It is an idea. Once you wrap yourself around the idea, you have no idea that you are redefining what leadership looks like. All right. My leadership presence is much different than most. Okay. I like to have fun with it. I like to be a little bit more charismatic. And not everybody's like that, but that is just what works for me. And so I can talk about Slay all day, every day, at any point in time. Okay. What can you talk about all day, every day, at any point in time? That is your way to really get your message across, not only to your community, but to the entire world. All right. We are change makers. We are trailblazers. We are sometimes the first of many to do what we are setting out to do. And so the impact is really about shifting the narrative from blending in that some of us have been doing for a very long time to boldly standing out. All right. Yes, it's scary, but you want to know, but many people want to know what keeps me showing up. All right. Even on the days when I don't want to. Now, I don't get tired per se. Okay. One of the things that's part of my brand is I work out every day. And so this morning I did a 45-minute high intensity interval training boot camp, which is running fast on the treadmill, then coming off and doing weight training, high intensity weight training, and then back and forth for 45 minutes. This morning I had to warm up for 10 minutes because sometimes we have to make sure that these bodies are warm, especially when we get more seasoned. But that's part of what I do. That is part of my life. If I could not exercise and work out, I would be a whole totally different person. And that's not what I want to be. I had decided I love what I do and how I show up with that. So I continue to do it. All right. But what I am what I'm looking at is legacy, changing the trajectory of my family and the dynamics and whatnot of what it has always been. And I know it's working, y'all. I absolutely know it's working. So, perfect example. All right. I'm just going to go and share just a little bit about, some of my family members. And it's all good. Okay. I had a few family members text me and they're like, I was thinking about going into the military. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what do you want to know? Well, what is the process like? How do you get there? And so forth and so on. And, I I don't know, like, I, I guess what I should say is I haven't given myself enough credit about serving for that long. I just went through a system that was not designed for me to succeed in the first place. And I was actually thriving. And people appreciate that. And it's not until somebody texts me and asks me questions about it that I'm like, take a step back and go, you know what? You did that, Queen. You did that. And of course, they're looking for your advice. They want guidance. They want you to give them the real talk. And I give them the real talk. All right. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't tell it it's easy. All right, just go to your local recruiter and just sign up. No, there's a process that goes with it. And when you get there, there's a whole nother world that you're entering into. And you need to know, like how to manage your expectations. So that's one. Many of the people that I talk to, my family, they see me and I show up in pink. And so they're like, I thought about you and I didn't think that I could wear a certain color, but then they put it on and they'll come up to me or they'll share with me pictures and they'll go, this is what I wore today. And I'm like, oh, okay. I see you, Queen. I love that. But you have no idea what you are doing. It's indirectly creating this impact that you had no idea about. So it's not by the likes, okay? Yes, everybody loves that dopamine hit of when people are like, oh yeah, and they like it, but they don't leave any of the comments. For me, it's about engagement. Okay, it is about the exchange of energy, the social currency that you can get from that. I don't put out any information on social media just to be putting it. There is a meaningful decision about what I am doing. Okay. And it's not about the applause. It's not being quote unquote known in the world, if you will. I mean, you can work towards that. All right. But it's not all to be all. I'm not here to go viral. Okay. I'm here to go vertical. Okay. That's what I'm here to do. Thank you, Queen. I'm going to keep going. Okay. I probably got about 10 more minutes in me because I really want to share with you all, some of my thoughts about this. So, to rise into your purpose, to pour into others, and to stretch a hand back as you climb, it can be one of the greatest ways that can help you to get going and to keep going. Think about it like, the way that you're leading in your own industry in your own way, you are creating a path for them to follow. All right. And understand that this is a big responsibility. And if you're doing this personal brand journey the correct way, you will get the feedback. Not all the time, because that's just the way this world is. But when you do, you really appreciate what you have been able to do on your own. Okay. And I also believe that you don't have to be copycatting anybody. You have all that what you need. So I want people in my immediate circle to remember me, not just as a mother, but as a woman who has talked her talk. Okay. Talk the talk, walk the walk. I turned my military career into a movement. I didn't play small. just to make others feel comfortable. And I branded myself with intention, not just to make my name, but I have my nickname is Slay Queen, and most of you know that I got this name by others. I did not give my name to myself. This is something that somebody started calling me, and everybody's like, "Yep, that's it." And I said, "Okay, well, I received that, and I'll go ahead and walk out with that." I'm here to make a mark, my own unique mark, and that mark becomes part of my story. It becomes part of my legacy, and that legacy becomes the wind at someone else's back. So when I show up, I know I'm showing up on purpose. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. And I've seen women who have hid for years suddenly walk into rooms with fire after working with me. If you are not following any of the brand Bowley clients that I put out there, you can go and watch the beginning of this show again. They are on fire. It warms my heart every time they step out. And, I also got Dr. Garner, who is one of those few good men. Please follow these individuals. I'm going to tell you right now, I've watched them all because they stopped waiting and they started owning who they are. And they are making a path for where they want to go. And your personal brand should not be a mask, y'all. It should be a mirror. And it reflects your purpose, it reflects your presence, and also your potential. And if you don't build it intentionally, the world will brand you by default. All right. They could have easily, and I say they, is anyone who knows me, could have easily branded me and I could still be Chief Hemingway, okay, or Chief Slay, because that's what they were calling me towards the end of my career. My name is Rochelle Marie Hemingway. My nickname, affectionately called the Slay Queen. I am a keynote speaker, a personal brand expert, a certified image consultant, as well as a 30-year United States Air Force veteran. I help women and a few good men to step into their most authentic personal brand. Now, this has been a journey. I have had so many different examples of where I just kind of went here, there, and everywhere. Now I'm sitting right into the space, into the pocket where I know that I have created this personal brand, but not just for me showing up here, but for generational impact. I want my name to be carried on for many, many years afterwards and to be attached to, she went out and she did whatever she wanted to do after she retired from the military, and we want to do it too. Okay. And they can just go back because all the things that I'm sharing are evergreen, meaning that they will always be here on these platforms. And all these articles and these books will always be in the system, if you will, for people to read and go back to. So that's why you're creating your personal brand. You're creating it for generational impact. You want to be the man or the woman that said, you know what? I didn't let anyone water down the version of myself. I started building a brand that's built to last. And it is all in the vein of slaying to success. Okay? Slaying to success. So, as you're building out your plan, if you need support, I'm your girl. Okay? I understand what it is to find out who you are after a long career, or maybe you're transitioning from motherhood and you're like, these kids have been my life and I just don't know what I'm doing in this next. Or, maybe you want to pursue a new career and you're like, I don't know how to accelerate my success in the new career. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a firm believer that when you choose you, when you fully choose you, and then you step out of your own way so that way you can help others, these things will last from time and time again. So, I am your Slay Queen. Okay, I'm Rochelle Hemingway. And I love that you all came through. Chevy, thank you so much for being here today with us and on the live. And then if anyone comes back and put in hashtag replay, if you're looking for someone to support you in your personal brand journey and you just want to know what this thing is all about and how you can use it as a tool to empower yourself, change your mindset, give yourself an opportunity to transform your whole entire life from where it was to where you would like it for it to be, just DM me or where to find me. I'm on LinkedIn every day because I believe that LinkedIn is the best platform that you can be on if you're wanting to build your personal brand, because you can definitely do it. And I'm having so much fun, y'all, doing what I do. All right. So keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And I will see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.